Hello students, let me explain the poem Cherry Tree. Let me read it first. 8 years have passed since I placed my cherry seed in the grass. Must have a tree of my own, I said, and watered it once and went to bed. And forgot, but cherries have a way of growing, though no one's caring very much or knowing. And suddenly that summer near the end of May, I found a tree had come to stay. It was very small, 5 months child, lost in the tall grass running wild. Goats ate the leaves, the grass cutters sighed, split it apart, a monsoon blight. Shriveled the slender stem, even so, next spring I watched 3 new shoots grow. The young tree struggle upward thrust, its arms in a fresh, fierce lust for light and air and sun. So let us see hard words mainly here. Scythe. Scythe means what? A long handled tool with a curved blade used for cutting the grass. And blight. What's the meaning of blight here? Here blight means a plant disease caused by fungi. Then shriveled. Shriveled means what? Wrinkled or shrunken. Fierce. What's the meaning of fierce? Fierce means very aggressive or have a way. Have a way means phrase. What's the meaning of have a way? Have a way means have a special ability to deal with a situation. Then running wild. What's the meaning of running wild? Running wild means growing uncontrolled. Slender. Slender means very slim. Lust. Lust means in this context longing or desire. So let me explain this poem. 8 years have passed since I placed my cherry seed in the grass. This is a narrative poem and very easy to understand also. Must have a tree of my own, I said, and watered it once and went to bed. And forgot, but cherries have a way of growing, though no one's caring very much or knowing. If you see the first 4 lines, this poem begins with the poet recalling that 8 years ago he had placed a cherry seed in the grass. Why? Why did he place a cherry seed? Because he had wanted to have his own cherry tree. He had watered the ground where he put the seed and then forgotten about it. Then if you see the next line, and suddenly that summer near the end of May, I found a tree had come to stay. It was very small, 5 months old, lost in the tall grass running wild. See, but the cherry tree had survived. It was not destroyed. Even though he had forgotten it, he was totally forgotten it. At the end of that summer, the poet noticed a very small cherry plant where he had placed the seed, and it was growing among the tall, wild grass. No one had noticed it or not care for it, but it had grown into a tiny means very small, 5-month-old sapling. Goats ate the leaves. What happened next? What problem occurred or arrived there? Goats ate the leaves, the grass cutters sighed, split it apart, and a monsoon blight shriveled the slender stem. Even so, next spring I watched 3 new shoots grow. That means here at the end of that summer, the poet noticed a very small cherry plant where he had placed the seed, and no one had noticed it or nor cared for it, but it had grown into a tiny 5 months old sapling. And goats grazing there means goats which were grazing there ate its leaves, and a grass cutter hacked it with the sharp cutting blade. In the monsoon season, a disease withered the little cherry sapling, means due to fungal infection, its growth hindered. The young tree struggled upward thrust, its arms in a fresh fierce lust for light and air and sun. See, if you see here, goats grazing there ate its leaves, you know very well. and grass cutter hacked it with the sharp cutting blade. In the monsoon, a disease withered a little cherry sapling, that means fungal infection. And the next spring, what happened there? The poet saw that the plant was not only alive but had 3 new shoots. It was growing. It seemed eagerly pushing upward towards the sunlight and air and struggling to somehow stay alive. It was struggling to stay somewhat alive here. I am going to explain the next stanza in the next video.